So yeah, this live stream, like everyone knows, is going to be about the art team. We finally were able to get them on the on the on the on that chat with you guys, so you guys can ask some questions and see as well um, everything that goes on the background and a little bit of the process of creation of the caveman and cave world. You guys already know Garzen, our art director, but today as well we have with us Saifan and Gog. If you guys want to introduce yourselves a little bit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. First of all, hey everybody. So glad to finally be chatting with everyone, and it's super exciting to see everyone in the chat. Ooga booga, like I said before. It was awesome corresponding with you guys on Discord. This has been quite an insane journey, I have to admit. I can see already very familiar names in the chat, so it's really awesome to see you guys. Thanks for joining. So like Pedro said, I'm Garzan. So the project started, as you all know, as an NFT project, and I just wanted to take part of it. Danny called me up at the time and said, "We're starting a terrific project. NFTs are the next huge thing. You got to take part of it." I have to say that I wasn't myself. I wasn't part of the NFT world or the crypto world in a sense, and that was not even on my radar to do projects in that space. But when Danny kind of presented everything, I just wanted to try it out. And it was like a very interesting experience. And we thought, what the hell? Why not? I mean, I have a experience myself in film, TV, commercial, and video game studios. That was my previous experience. So I guess we can add NFT games to the list now. So a bit about me. I worked previously on uh, very different projects for Disney, for EA, for Wizards of the Coast, for I mean I can't mention very specific projects because I'm still anonymous in a sense, but I'm pretty sure that later on, once the game comes out and stuff like that, we will, I will essentially, I will probably reveal myself sooner or later. It's not going to remain like this.
Ooh.
Um, yeah, so that would be that would be fun later on. Some of my like one of my last studios that I worked for was EA on a few AAA games. I was a senior character artist there, and then the studio I worked for afterwards, which I won't mention its name because then it will be very clear who I am. I was an art director and an art lead on a game title that actually recently came out, which is quite exciting to see. Um, and I also manage one of the leading schools for visual effects and animation and game asset creation um, um, in the world right now. So when this NFT project started, we knew we were gonna need some help. So I just had to approach. At the beginning, it was Siphon. I just had to approach her. Siphon was a student before, and we became really good friends. And it was obvious that Siphon's demo reel and portfolio works were so incredible that she got hired immediately into amazing studios, local studios around here. And I've always had a conversation with Goog. Um, well, Goog will also, well, both of them will talk about themselves as well, but Goog has been a very good friend for many years, and he has tremendous experience in so many different fields. Funny story is, when I was very young, I watched a movie that I loved, an animated movie, Goog, maybe you'd like to share a bit more about that afterwards. I won't mention the name right now, but and then years later, I met Goog, and apparently Goog was doing the animation or like doing like a significant part in that movie that I watched as a kid at the time, and I was so excited, and we became friends. So that was really fun. So that's me in a nutshell. I mean, we can talk a bit more later, but maybe I can um, um, move this torch to Siphon. Maybe you can talk a bit about yourself.
Hey guys. Um, yeah, so it's funny how we're going quite a lot along back too. Like you were a teacher of mine twice
Yeah.
in different parts of the world. So this is funny. But yeah, I've been in the industry for a while. I've been working on a lot of Disney TV shows. Um, what else?
It's funny because I don't think you even expected that I would
No,
be in both schools.
yeah, that was a funny
Yeah,
thing.
Garzen is everywhere.
Like you again?
Yeah.
Exactly. It was like
Um,
you again. I already, Jesus.
And now he's taking over NFTs.
Mm.
I also kind of the same backstory. Like I had no idea what NFTs were. Um, kind of heard about it, but never paid attention too much and didn't inquire too much about it. Um, yeah, I think I met Grzan. We went on a hike or something, and he told me about it and mentioned that a lot of work is needed, and like, yeah, just count me in if you need any help.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
and here we are, huh?
yeah, I thought at first it's gonna be like, yeah, sure, month of freelance thing in my
Well, not
in my
really.
free time, and then yeah, it exploded to something so big. Um,
Yeah.
and
How, how, how many months before the mint was that?
sorry, what?
How many months before the mint in September was that? Like how long before the mint do you guys start working on Cavemen?
Maybe a month, month
Maybe a
and a
Yeah,
month.
half
it
or
was very short. It
Hmm.
was like a month and a half.
Well, you
something.
guys
Uh,
put on the work, yeah.
mhm. Just to clarify, like the way it was distributed work-wise. I mean, it started while I did the initial sketch and the core caveman. Siphon, you did pretty much the modeling of all the props, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Pretty much the modeling of all the props for the NFT. And then I took it back to and I textured some of them, and you textured some of them, right?
Yep, sounds about
And
right.
Goog, yeah, and Goog did the backgrounds, like drew the backgrounds. Yeah. Goog, maybe you can t
Yeah,
tell us a bit
Cook.
about yourself.
Yeah, sure. So, Abuga, everybody.
Gabuga.
I, yeah, great to be here. This is a very unexpected journey for me as well, as everybody else said. I'm also NFT was not on my horizon. I usually what I do is direct films and TV shows and stuff, and I do storyboards and I do animation. Not so much animation these days, but I've been around for a good 25 years or so, as Garzan already dated me with his story. So I've been around for a long time with starting in 2D animation, then 3D animation, then storyboarding, directing, like I said, and so on. So it's funny that I ended up doing the backgrounds because that's actually like not like that's something I've done like illustrations and stuff. I've done here and there, but mostly I'm in animation. So um, and so what I've done after that was the teaser, working with Garzan on that. We should probably talk about a bit more,
Mm-hmm.
and help with the logo design afterwards. But for before the mint, I just did the backgrounds, and yeah, it's been a crazy ride. Super interesting world that is being created right under our feet.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing to see that like such talented artists are coming to the NFT space, and even though you guys never really heard about it, and you guys came and did this incredible job. Like we can see, NFT goes from like 2D to like very simple pixelated drawings to very high quality 3D, and you guys brought the caveman on a really high quality. At the time, and Solana didn't have many 3D NFTs. I think there was actually only one, which was the Gen Apes. And then when you guys came together and made this beautiful thing, now we have
It's
our.
funny. It's funny how things are moving so fast
Mm-hmm.
that when you say at the time, that's like half a year ago.
Yeah.
At the time, it's not like years ago at all. And I first heard about NFT, like, I think just weeks before this started. A
Mm-hmm.
friend was like, "Hey, this NFT, blah blah blah." And I was like, "What NFT? I don't know what that is." So he explained, and then afterwards, every day I was hearing about it more and more and more, and then finally Garzan came in with this project. So, but the pace at which it moves from nobody ever heard about it, except for, people who are in the know, to everybody's talking about it. It's just super amazing. It's just exploded.
Yeah, it really it grew. Well, crypto and NFTs, you see, time frame for crypto is very different. We can even see on like game development, like how other NFT games are trying to like rush things, and as well NFTs, like everyone is joining, everyone is doing, everyone is trying to make something new. So um, it's competitive and it's growing really fast. Um, so I think we could now maybe start talking a little bit about like how you guys make your make your magic. I don't know if Garzen wants to.
Yeah, sure. I just wanted to add one final thing that
Mhm.
is important to mention that I think that when I joined at the beginning, like when there was no art at the time, I know Danny personally, but I have to say that our core team is, and I mean the elaborate team as well, but we had a much smaller team when we started with the NFTs. And I mean, the core team has been absolutely amazing. I met some incredible people on this project, including yourself, Pedro, by the way. You've been managing and triumphing the community in such an amazing and dedicated fashion. Professor did an amazing job bringing us together, being the crypto king that he is.
Professor is Krog, everyone.
Right. Yes. So it was just, everyone kind of got in together for
Yeah.
this one NFT project, and then we decided, hell, this was an amazing experience, probably too short and too sweet, and then we decided, hey, how about we just keep going and make a game out of this? Because we can use like all the funds and the earnings and stuff like that that we had to make something even more amazing. It seems like the community is up for it, and we definitely have the experience for it. So we should definitely go ahead. Yeah. So without further ado, let's talk a bit uh, about the cavemen.
Mm.
So I'm gonna start, even though Siphon and Goog, please feel free to chime in anything that you'd like to add and stuff like that. No problem.
Sure. I
Um,
can see there are some questions. Are we doing the questions in the end or
Yeah,
kind of
I was
early?
gonna bring up now. We can do the questions the less last little bit, we can talk a little bit like how you guys have a lot. I know you guys have a lot of stuff to show, but I am keeping all the questions on the doc, so I'm saving them and I'll bring them up later. So we can do them in the end. Um, like we planned. This is supposed to be around an hour stream.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
we
we
can
have a lot. We have a lot to go over, but we'll try to get to questions as
Yep,
soon as we can.
exactly.
Hopefully, this won't last more than an hour. All right. So,
All right.
okay. So you're already sharing my screen right now, right?
Mm-hmm. Can you guys
All
see it?
right.
I think everyone can see it.
Yeah, it looks like it. So, obviously, you guys know this little guy here. He's has a bald back. So this was the original NFT. It was done in a very short amount of time. Um, Still, like with, a lot of discussions about design and stuff like that. I'm just going to share with you guys how it actually started. So at the beginning, we did a quick test. Like, okay, let's try and figure out a feel for this funny fellow. Um, and just opening so in the beginning, before this was sculpted and before this guy looks the way he does, um, we had I looked at references. So at the beginning, I don't know if you guys know this guy. I'm not gonna show. There's an animated short. I think it was done by a student at some point. It was actually gained a lot of traction. There's an animated short with this guy kind of drawing his ideal woman in the cave, and I just loved his face so much. And I thought to myself, oh, we surely we got to do something that is kind of awkward and kind of funny like this.
We gotta
So you
mint.
guys,
We gotta mint that one as well. You know.
but you can see kind of see some resemblance, right? Um, so, but we did what we did was sketches at the beginning. So the first sketch was this guy. So this was the very initial sketch. As you can see, he's a lot more awkward, a lot funnier.
Harry
But
as well.
but yeah, yeah, Harry as well. Probably not as appealing, probably not as friendly looking. And then we decided to go something along the Pixar or Disney style to make it a bit more appealing. Yeah, so this was the initial sketch, really quick sketch. This was like several hours just to figure how this guy looks like. And then another reference was this guy, which you probably know. This is Wreck-It Ralph. And then I thought, oh, maybe this face would kind of something along these lines would kind of work. And then this was the second sketch. Look at this guy. So
Uh,
obviously you can see, yep.
I only see. Oh, now I see it. Uh, Wreck-It Ralph only just now entered the YouTube channel. So just so you know, there's a
Yeah, there's a
delay.
10-second delay a little bit if you watch
Oh,
but it's okay.
but it,
For them it's like it's live. For us, if you watch
oh,
on
is this
the
the
on Discord, yeah, you have
yeah.
I see.
what's going on.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so as you can see, there's some resemblance to Wreck-It Ralph. So this was the second guy. So you can see a bit of the test that we had going on. But eventually it was this the original guy, and obviously just to show some of the examples that you guys already know how this fella evolved. So I'm gonna open 1 second Maya real quick. So this is my Maya scene. You can see all the different traits here in different folders. But basically, as soon as I will just render it, you guys can see that this was kind of the final result of our caveman, and obviously, um, you guys are familiar with all sorts of the actual. Oops, I'll just stop this render because it's very slow. Obviously, all the iterations, and you can see like Siphon's work here, and you can see Goop's work here as well, like all of the different versions that came out of this one guy. So this was a very new and experience for me and for all of us to do something of this style, of this sort, which was a really, really fun experience overall. Yeah, anything you guys would like to add?
Um, Not really. I mean, I'm, as uh, with the backgrounds, it's like I didn't have much to do with the actual design of the character, so I just wanted to say how much I love this guy. Like it's just there's something so simple, in a good way, and so appealing to me. I just love him.
Yeah.
He has
Yeah,
this craziness in his eyes that I also like.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. This guy's nuts for sure.
Yeah. There's
And
I
actually, this sort of craziness in the eyes, uh, I think it kind of lent itself to a lot of the stuff that we saw coming from the community, and also where the teaser is going, like the humor of it. I think it's really it has something of that, like, this guy is hungry for life, and he has a sense of humor, and he's a little bit crazy, and I think a design has a lot to do with all of that.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And a funny thing now, if we're talking about moving on to the game, so when I approached Google, I was like, "Hey, I'm in this crazy NFT project that is, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and set it." I was like, "This is shady because I'm so not familiar with the crypto world and stuff like that." I'm like, "I don't know, man. This is shady business. I don't know. I
It,
don't
it
know. I don't know
it's
if,
even more
huh?
shady when Daniel's like, yeah, my brother, Matthew, and I was like, oh, no, I'm kidding.
Yeah, 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 for sure." And I thought to myself, you know what? But it's a short project, so even if it's shady, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
Because besides Danny, I didn't know anybody else. And then I talked to Goog, and Goog was like, "Yeah, that's shady business, man. I don't know."
Yeah.
I was
And
like,
funny,
don't do it, man.
Yeah, but
so
even like on the process of hiring, we figured out that like people weren't so keen on about NFTs coming to gaming or art,
y-
you know,
yeah,
because
it's a brand new thing.
it's a brand
Yeah.
new thing. No one understands yet, and I'm sure with time it's gonna change. Like how you guys have, a different idea of it now, and
Oh, for sure, for sure. Also, I mean, crypto was something that everyone thought is going to fail big time.
yeah,
Everyone thought it's shady business at the time, and now no one, no one thinks any less of it. I mean, everyone no, sorry, I mean, everyone knows it's like, how much the crypto has changed the world and how significant it is in the world economy, and more institutions are working with it. So it's just a matter of time for sure. Um, yeah, so I told Google, hey, like we're looking for someone to do the backgrounds. It's gonna be a very short gig, and hopefully it's gonna be worthwhile. And Google's like, sure, if it's gonna take me a very short amount of time, if I can kind of wrap it real quick, I don't want to give it a go. And look at us now, half a year later, Google is kind of like deep, deep, deep in the project,
yeah.
I was
It's our
like,
working.
lives now.
honestly, I was like, okay, Garzan, you're a good friend. You're doing this. I don't mind helping, but I did not expect anything to come out of it. Seriously, I was like, yeah. So, like I said,
Yeah.
it is an amazing journey.
But a lot you can see that in a lot of big projects that are now not even like NFT projects anymore. They're proper well-known studios. I can even name them, like Illuvium, for example. The artists, they were always clear about it. We went in this for a quick cash grab, and we thought it was like it was too new of a thing. We were uncertain about it, but now like they saw how incredible the community is and how incredible this whole ecosystem can be and is becoming, and now they're like a massive you know a game studio that's developing an incredible thing, and it's very similar to us, and now we are all in. We are basically betting, all our time and a lot of effort into this, and I'm sure people are gonna be happy with the final form of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have to admit that the community was the biggest surprise to me.
Yeah,
how awesome everyone on Discord have been, how welcoming, how excited everyone is for the developments. It was actually incredible. And of course, well, Siphon is has been working also like a ton on the NFTs, and then Siphon started working on like the armor sets and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
on the game project. And Siphon is going to join us also, like working full time, leading the character art
Mm-hmm.
and the prop art for the characters. Right? Is that still a thing, Siphon? Am I accurate
Yeah,
here?
yeah, yeah, for sure. Finally, I can join full time.
Yeah.
It's been, yeah, it's been quite a hard journey for me since I already had a full-time job, and for personal reasons, I couldn't quit. Um, and only now, half a year later, I'm finally able uh, to do my own thing and join the team full time. I'm excited about that. Um, it's also very new to me. Like I've never worked on a game before, so that's gonna be quite a learning curve. But I'm excited.
Yeah. I just want to answer a question before you raises a bit more questions. No, I did not say we were expecting this to be a pump and dump. I'm saying other projects had that idea of doing NFTs because of that. For us, was always a long-term investment. And we had planned. We had always big plans for this NFT. Wasn't like a pump and dump in no shape or form. It's not what I meant. I was speaking specifically about some live streams of other projects that they're clear about their first idea of the NFT that they had, and then they turn into great game studios. That's what we meant there. Patrick, I think you asked that. But
Yeah, I just like to add to that, Pedro, exactly what you're
yeah.
saying. I mean, the initial goal was a test. So we start to test this, to test the grounds and see how far and where can this leads us. Because we honestly, I mean, especially some of us, I mean, we don't have experience with the crypto and NFT world at all.
Mm-hmm.
We were trying to figure out how far can this go? What does this mean? And as soon as we saw the traction, and as soon as we saw the excitement,
Mm-hmm.
that was immediately how we laid out all the steps and how we can make a long-term project out of this.
Yeah.
But we didn't expect it to be at the very beginning, obviously, because we just didn't know. We
Yeah,
had
it
no
was
idea
so
what to
new. It
expect.
was so new for everyone, especially for Solana.
Exactly.
Like it was, you could count in your hand how many projects was out there doing this big of NFT. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah,
All right, we have a lot to cover, so I'm going to try to speed it up. Just in a nutshell, I mean, you guys saw the NFT examples. Cavewoman was a thing at some point, which is still a thing, by the way, if you guys thought this is going to go away somewhere. So these were a few sketches made by Goog as well. I believe it was voted on that this girl is like the most voted on girl for the cave woman later on. So we wanted at the beginning we thought we'll create another NFT because Caveman was such a big success. But then we decided, hey, let's make a game.
yep.
And I mean, I'm sure you guys already know, but right now the tickets, like the best way to play the game is actually owning a Caveman NFT. But later on, we will also release more, excuse me, more characters. So the Cave Woman is going to be potentially the next character to be that you can get to play as in the game.
Our
So this was
wives.
also by Goog. Goog, do you want to mention something about the sketches?
Um, yeah, I think. Well, first of all, um, yeah, I just kind of tried uh, to kind of throw out some ideas. One, you go to the one. Oh yeah, it's there's a delay here, but anyway, yeah, I tried to match the craziness of him with some of them. I
Yep.
also, like I was trying to play with because uh, once you have another character, just going a little bit deep here, once you have another character, immediately you have a story, right?
Yep.
So if she's super, if she's super not crazy, that's one kind of story that you feel between them. Even if we never tell that story, it still exists somewhere, right? And if she's as crazy as him, that's a completely different relationship, completely different story. And I think just like the design really affected what we are, where we're going with the game, and with everything else that's going to come out of this. I think once we have the woman, once we decide on her, and I don't think those are necessarily like I don't think necessarily we'll just pick one of those. I think we still have a little bit of a way to go. Also going off of the response from the community and where we want to take it, and so on and so forth. But finally, when we do land on, yeah, this is her, I think it would affect, potentially where, where this leads. Like every little step that you take kind of affects down the line. Who
Mm-hmm.
knows how it affects things. So yeah, I think that was the most interesting thing for me in designing these designs.
Yeah, well, they are beautiful. I'm sure everyone loved them. Like when we put the vote out, everyone was like, "Wow!" Like, and um, I think this one was the winner because it reflects a lot the caveman, the nose, the crazy eyes a little bit, their bigger eyes, as also the one that was on the screen that has a bun on top of the head. That one is as well. That one, that one's the craziest.
Yeah, that makes me laugh.
Yeah, that I loved when I saw that. But yeah, everyone is super excited for when Cave Woman come out.
Me too.
Yeah, yeah. Um, all right. So when we started working on the game, obviously we needed a full character. So I'm gonna open the full characters so that I mean we had initial sculpts and stuff like that, but the end result was obviously this guy, which I think everyone knows. 1 second, it's loading. Yeah, so the end result was this guy he finally had a body.
Legs.
So yeah, legs. He has hair in the back.
Yeah,
Uh,
no more bald.
no, no more bald. So this guy looks and works from every angle, and a lot of you guys have already seen our caveman animated and stuff, all sorts of test animations and stuff. So this has been pretty fun. And Siphon sculpted the skirt. Um, yeah, so this was the very initial guy, which also went on to the trailer as well. Um, let's see. So and then we started working on some of the sets and stuff like that. So if we're talking about so I'm going to show a few of the sets, and then Siphon can take this and maybe showcase some of her work. So so some of the things that you've already seen are these funny sets. Um, so this is the forest set.
Those are
Again,
first set, right?
yeah, that was the very first set
Yeah.
that came out. So it's important to mention that everything that we do, the goal is not we're not just looking to make pretty things. Oh, I heard a sound. Is everything still okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not that we're just looking to make pretty things. We're obviously looking for a lot of humor. So um, I mean, Siphon totally gets it, and she's pioneering and defining the humor in many of those. But part of my role as like directing the art for this is always to kind of try to find how to make every little thing have some humor in it. So as you can see, this has like all sorts of like obviously this is like the most useless piece of armor that you can wear for a battle. But hey, it's that's what they're doing. I mean, you have these branches coming out. He has a flower on his ear, Siphon's idea, which is super funny, and a nest with an actual bird and egg. So obviously this has a lot of humor in it. So this
Yeah.
And it's important to mention, maybe I'll mention it already, that the kind of the art and the style that we're going for is, a lot of people are thinking Blizzard and all sorts of, these are the, specifically stylized games that they love. But what we're going for is, if we're it's I would say it's probably 70-80% Pixar and Disney, where it's very stylized. The proportions are skewed and interesting, yet the fidelity and the materials have some realism to them as well. Of course, it's more saturated. Of course, it's more extreme, but um, yeah, it definitely has fidelity. Like if you zoom in on any of the characters and any of the assets, you can, see the pore detail. You can see,
Yeah.
little textures and like.
That's one thing. Like everyone in the community, I'm not an artist, so it's something that I really, uh, it amazes me. Like, what is the process to like get to this kind of perfection? Is it like, um, because we can see the whip of the gray caveman, and it's quite like the base of it, and then to add the texture of it, it is it like each texture done by itself, or is it like a texture put into the whole body? I don't know if you
Um,
understand.
Well, I mean, it really depends on the asset. If I'll talk for a second about the character itself, it's very custom made. Some details are tileable and they are repeating, like pore details and stuff like that, but they do change from one area to another. But there's also a lot of hand painted work as well, because a body is a bit more
Mm-hmm.
unique. Now, if we're talking about sets, Siphon, maybe you can talk a bit about how the texturing works on the props.
Yeah, for sure. Um, I can open one of the sets here.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's really cool.
So this is a set I believe no one have seen before,
There you go,
right?
guys. That's the first time you guys see.
This is the mummy set.
It's beautiful.
Took me quite a while to come up with this idea. Actually, I was working on a leather set, and I did all kind of pieces, and for some reason I just couldn't connect them all together to one recognizable set.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think one of the pieces was the leg pieces here, and I thought, why not just make the whole thing strapped and be mummy-like? So we went for it, and we made this thing.
This thing, one eye. I love that he has only one eye out. It's like a cyclops, you know. It's so
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, so basically we create it firstly in Maya
Mm-hmm.
here. We create the base meshes here, and then we go to ZBrush, add all the, fine details like the little folds. In other sets, it's a bit more complicated, like the tree textures and all that. And then we take it all to Substance Painter, where we can paint and apply all the textures. Bake all the fine details that will finally create the look of the asset in the game. This is just the leg piece, but this is basically the material for the whole thing.
Oh, it's
But yeah, but you can see there's the fine details of the leather and different coloring and all that.
yeah. Danny, this might be a bit too early to say, but Denny was coming up with some ideas of streaming some of the progress of creation of assets when like the dev team or the arts, if you guys are comfortable at some point of doing like live streams of you guys creating one asset, and you organize which one you want to show, and like you organize like your work, like how your work goes into doing one of this, so the community understands a little bit the amount that goes behind the scenes. Like this already is amazing. Really, like I didn't know all of this, and it's really really cool.
Yeah, I think we'd love to do it at some point. I have to just mention to everybody that I mean, right now there's so much work that is being put into the project.
Hmm.
And our team is actually it grew quite a bit. So we have more artists. We have an environment lead that joined us. We have an amazing technical artist.
Hmm.
Now I want to show a few of their things. So I think we might go a bit overboard the 1 hour mark because we have a lot of things to show. But yeah, so we have an amazing tech artist, and we have several prop artists as well, and everyone's like working from different locations around the world, which is
Yeah.
it's a pretty interesting dynamic. So yeah, so we are very hard at work to have a game coming out as soon as possible. All departments, that is. All right, so I'll just move on to maybe how a bit of about the process of feedback and stuff like that. Just a few examples. So Pedro, I'm going to share my screen if
Yeah,
you can
it's on
stream
it.
me. All right, so we are using like a proper production like website that allows us to kind of give
By the way, they're gonna depict every single little detail of it, and they're gonna go through all the groups we have made and everything. Now you guys can see how we work and how we organize ourselves. But this is linear. Is that I think Danny already said that we use this app for the production.
right. Yep, yep. So, so this is kind of like, we have one thing that we pride ourselves in, and that's kind of like the way we like to do it is that there's a lot of freedom for all the artists to kind of find and create things that kind of excite them, of course, with proper guidance and proper direction. But a lot of people, like, sorry, not a lot of people, but the artists are kind of throwing things out there, throwing ideas, and then we kind of move on from that point and kind of refine every asset. So this was like, for instance, an initial design by the artist, and certain things were working, certain things were not working as much. So you can kind of see the progress of feedback, and all sorts of you can see kind of the back and forth of like the messaging, and you can kind of see how slowly the asset changes, and some sketches, of course, we are kind of showcasing I'm kind of defining how things maybe should look like better to make more sense, either realistically make more sense or look a bit more appealing, and slowly like the assets are changing accordingly. So there's just a ton of back and forth happening with how things should look like, and the progress. So obviously there's the ZBrush mesh, and slowly it's getting to where it needs to be. There are still all sorts of tests that are happening as we go, and just more and more notes. Basically, as you can see, it's a very long chain of feedback. So yeah, so there's a lot of work by the artists, and a lot of work in terms of feedback and stuff like that. So you can see like all sorts of issues and errors that we're going over. Everything needs to look good in many from every angle, from in every step of the way, pretty much. So yeah, reference usage and stuff like that. And then the look dev, like this is the initial version. and how the eggs should probably how the egg texture should probably look like. And and at the end of this, the end result is this guy, which turned out
Beautiful.
awesome, I think.
So
Yeah,
cool.
turned out really
This is
well.
my favorite
Love
set.
it. I haven't seen that yet. That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I have quite a few favorite sets at this point.
If you want to leave
But
on
yeah,
a repeat on the spinning, it's autoplay. Pretty sure.
yeah, yeah. I just had to turn on repeat. So this is this is one of the sets. I have to say that my favorite set though, this is one by Siphon, is this guy. I think I like the other one looks beautiful, gorgeous, and I love it. This one really made me laugh. As soon as I
Wow.
saw the bucket on the
Yeah.
head here, I think I
Y-
might have
y-
snorted. I'm
And
not sure.
you can picture how they got themselves into that situation, and they're like, "Oh, this works out as a helmet," you know, and it's
Uh,
amazing.
yeah, absolutely. Obviously, his shoes are super useful for fighting.
Yeah.
But
Well, they, ask the samurai maybe.
yeah.
And getting a key
So
code from one of these is not fun.
no, 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 not fun at all. So yeah, so just to move on, really we're kind of getting tight on times. There's plenty to talk about still.
There's a lot of stuff to
I
talk
mean,
about. Yeah.
yeah, so we started with concepts as well, and I'm going to open that on my screen. We had an incredible artist. Her name was is Shoze. I mean, her nickname is Shoze. So the way it started is with a thumbnail. So if we're looking at the process here, maybe Goog, you'd like to kind of I have all the images here. Maybe you'd like to kind of talk about the process a bit.
Sure, we can kind of go through them and talk about it together. So this was the first sketch she did, and it already has a bunch of appeal, I think. But what we wanted is to get it more to the style and to the style of humor. They're kind of cute, whereas our guy is kind of crazy, right? So we thought we wanted, like, how about if we have more humor and more craziness in it, and just also that it's more on model. So if you go to the next one, uh, this is the next version of that. So now the appeal is not as it's not as appealing as the first one, but it's starting to get to that craziness with the guy drinking the whatever it is that he's drinking,
The
right? You
potion.
can
Yeah.
see that it's kind of more like, oh, now there's a bit of a punch to it, right? Um, and so yeah, so we kind of this is just like the 3D. It's like that with everything, whether it's the teaser or the game mechanics, or everything you do is always this process of you know layered notes and people looking at it and so on, and you move forward slowly, building up. So now here, uh, we thought we thought about, hey, let's add some animals. We thought it would be great to have animals always in these drawings or most of the time, just because it's just to kind of bring that in, add it as a humor element that could be there as part of that universe of cavemen, um, and continuing to kind of build the area around them. Now we're going into the color. This is obviously, I don't know if you remember the final one, but this is very blue. The lighting is very different. We wanted the fire to be more prominent. We wanted it to be more warm and inviting. So
Yeah. It's
slowly,
cool to see as well. The chef is actually the one cooking. It's really cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we wanted to, some more clarity stuff. So we wanted the fire to be catching the skirt of the guy who's standing up. We were trying to figure out, okay, let's see how we can make that pretty clear. You see, if you scroll between the previous one and this one,
The different animals. Yeah.
you see the animal again. Like, okay, this is a lizard, fine, but this is a funny lizard. So
Yeah.
just like, how do we make it more funny? And here the artist added some more. some more creatures in the upper corner, upper right
Oh,
corner, and a bit of a snail. Like just exactly like the 3D where you have all these uh little details like in the
Oh
materials that
my! I never
nobody really
noticed his
sees.
skirt was on fire.
mhm.
So, but that's the fun of these things when you can when it kind of looks simple in the first glance, and then when you look a bit further, a bit deeper, you kind of see like small stories happening inside. That's kind of what we're going for in all of the illustrations
I just like to add a
we're
few
working on.
things about the process, right? So we were trying to, as we were going through these different images, we're also trying to define how do the caveman look in 2D, right? They're not going to look the way they are in 3D because we don't want them to be identical, right? We want them to have the same vibe, but slowly have their own kind of style in their comic book version, in a sense, right? So, if I would draw a comic of us, we're not going to look realistic, right? We're gonna have like some exaggerated features and stuff like that. So at the beginning, it was like very cute. It had some vibe to it. Slowly, it had more and more vibe, but then it kind of went and got a bit too anatomical. So here, it might slightly look more like the caveman in 3D in terms of volumes and anatomy. So it kind of got there. And
Hmm.
then what we said was actually tone it down a bit, make it a bit more cartoony, make it a bit more stylized. So Shoze went ahead and did this. But then we thought, okay, this has some cool stuff to it, but this is way too cartoony and stylized. So let's kind of find a good middle ground, which ended up to be this. So this is kind of in between this and this.
Hmm.
All right. So we have this, which has some more stylization, more cartoon to it, but it still has like some of the volumes and proportions and stuff like that. Um, and then, of course, more lighting. And then you can see here the original cave coin, which I kind of laid out to help show the concept artist with kind of understanding how they are placed. And then obviously she did a pass on it and made it fit the entire environment. There's more creatures happening, more defined. Now, the reason there's so much negative space at the top, actually, these images fit both 1080p, so if you kind of crop it right here at the top, but also it has some negative space, so we can use it for multiple things. So most of our um, concepts are going to have this extra negative space, so we can add like the logo here or something. It really depends on the purpose of these images. And this was another version, but it was a bit too red, and something happened with the fingers and with the shadows, and slowly it was more refined. Things were starting to get more interesting.
Hmm.
And oops, that was the next subject. But basically, yeah, many didn't notice, but his skirt is definitely on fire. That's part of it.
I
And
love it.
and you know what? And the chef probably knows it, and he doesn't care.
The
He
He
chef is
just
definitely
like,
does. He's
yeah, yeah.
looking and he's
So
giving him the snake eyes.
yeah, exactly. And this guy like is pretty high on potions or whatever. So there's, and this guy's playing the guitar, but obviously the strings are all getting messed up. So there's a
imagine the
lot of
noise. Yeah.
yeah, so it's and the cook is, just holding a whatever a leg of something and just holds it in the fire. So that's hardly cooking, right? But
Yeah.
he thinks he's a cook.
Yeah. Let's
So
see.
there's a
Let's
lot
see.
of
Let's see what they come
mhm.
up with, right? When there's consumables in the game, and let's see if they actually know how to cook, or is it just gonna be like, raw
Yeah, yeah,
meat
yeah.
and uh,
Right, right. So they all have roles essentially, but they're not very good at their roles, right? They're like a really goofy bunch.
hmm.
So we're going to show you now a new concept that is in the works. It's not finished yet, but I'm going to start by showing the very latest image, and then we can talk a bit about the process. So this is the latest work in progress that we have right now. So this is something that I don't believe anyone has seen before.
Nope,
So
it's
I
news
just
for
I
everyone.
just yeah, just another concept work. So this is the current state of it after quite a few iterations already, similar to the previous concepts and iterations. This is By the way, this is a different concept artist. I would have loved mentioning her name, but I don't know if she'd be interested in that yet, so I won't. But she's actually going to join us also full time and going to take care of UI, concept art, comics, illustrations, all sorts of things. So, Goog, maybe I'm going to start with the very first version. Like this was the very first version that came out. Maybe you can shed some light
Oh,
here.
oh, you know what? Do you have the thumbnails? Like
Oh yeah, yeah,
the
yeah, 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 yeah. Absolutely. There we go.
yeah, yeah. So this is where it all starts. Like with this super like silly
It's a
uh,
cartoon more.
uh
Yeah, it's amazing.
yeah, super silly stuff, and this is like where they're looking at the map for the mammoth, but it's right there, and we had different ideas like that, and eventually we decided to go with the action one, you know, just to see where it goes from there. So you see how basic it starts, but it's pretty funny. And this is all the artist coming up with these things based on. We just told her, hey, what about the mammoth hunt? Um,
Yeah, and
so
and make it yeah, and make it funny, right? Just and that's part of your process, Goop, which I love, which is create like super fast sketches and create a small story with one sketch. So as you can see, there's so much story in each and every one of those sketches, which is really funny. We actually thought, man, all of these are hilarious.
Yeah.
I, yeah, I kind of want to make all of them now. I haven't seen them in a while. Anyway, so yeah, so that's where it starts with, and then we went through a few iterations in just the sketches and the finding the characters and so on. Just sort of trying different things, and every artist that starts is a different artist, like Garzan was saying. Every artist that starts, they need to find their own voice in this, find their own caveman, and how to deal with that. And it takes maybe even several iterations, not even one. So this is, you can see how far it went, where it started a bit more, kind of a bit more silly, a bit too silly, right? And then we added the anatomy and the specific type of fun that we're after.
Hmm.
Right? Can you go to the next one?
Yeah, so this is the next one.
So now, see the difference is pretty huge. So here we had the this. So I don't know if you remember in the initial sketch in the thumbnail, there are a few more guys in the background, and they became too small to even really enjoy, and we really wanted to enjoy. Like the first one of the things that we really liked about it, and I'm hoping that you guys like that as well, is just that each person has their own little story and their own little expression and their own little, like, you can look at the details. So with the small guys in the background, we couldn't do that because it was too far away. We had a chef with a knife running after the mammoth, but it was so small in the background that we went like, well, it's not, we can't really enjoy his face. So we went with a trio here again, and yeah, we have the guy who's like, actually, oh, this is rodeo now. Let's have fun with that. And the guy who's holding for dear life, and his skirt just flew off. And you'll see in the later version, the cloud sort of covers him, so that the butt kind of sticks out. And we're gonna do some more work on that, so it's even more funny than that. So you'll see.
Hey, Goog, actually,
Uh,
one image that I think is super important is like when you're looking at this concept, right? This is like the initial version by the artist. But then what we do is along the lines of doing a draw over. So me and Goog, as Goog is drawing, because he has a lot of experience with that, we kind of chat about it and kind of make modifications. So this was the actual sketch that was about different fixes about how to push the vibe, the expressions, the proportions, the silhouettes, right? And the story.
Oh, wow.
right? So Goog did an amazing job, like adding all this. Let me just close this. Like you see here, Goog did an amazing job adding all these details, all this character. While both of us were in the conversation and I can talk as much as I want, Goog really nails. What's amazing about Goog is that, just based on a very simple conversation, Goog can, pull out these incredible results, right? Already kind of letting the artist know exactly what they need in order to get where we want.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing.
Right. So as you
Very
can see,
well.
this guy in the background, so you guys can see this guy is naked and his skirt is flying off, which is funny. But how funny is this? The guy is completely submerged in the cloud, and only his butt cheeks, arms, and feet are out, which I thought was, I mean, I can't stop laughing every time I see this image. All of them. I mean, if even the guy at the top, like, there's so much character.
Yeah, there is.
Um,
And I
mhm.
think that was your idea, and just just credit where credit is due as well. Like there's in the conversation between us, and I draw as we speak, right? We share the screen, and I draw it, and a lot of this emerged in the conversation. So in my initial sketch, and coming off of what the artist did, uh, um, we uh, we did the guy at the top. He was like, oh, he's just afraid, and then he was just laughing. But then in the conversation between us, we have this sort of almost evil cackle, that he's doing like ha ha ha,
Yeah.
with a crazy look. Like that's something that came out of that conversation.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a fun back and forth.
It's
Yeah,
amazing.
so just moving on with iterations, there's still a lot to talk about, so I'm going to move a bit faster with the iterations. So this was the very first initial sketch. This was the next version. This was the next version. Things are starting to come together here. This was the next version, which is even a bit more. It's even more shaded, but there's still things to be fixed. It's still not finished, but it's getting there. It's getting there. So I guess, some extra stuff. Now, I also wanted to show some because I know how much people love alpha, I guess that's the definition. So some armors that are being worked on and or finished. But okay, so you've seen this guy by Siphon, but there's also this guy coming up, which I think is pretty damn hilarious. Um,
That's
I
so
haven't seen
good.
that yet. That's so dumb.
Look at the shoes.
so yeah, so he wears irons as shoes. Um, yeah, so a lot of fun stuff are coming up. Um, it's gonna be a fun project for sure. And here's another project that is in the works as well. So that's the shark set, still not finished. Um,
Garza, are we showing any of the environment today?
yeah, well, I'd like to get there just a bit, just to talk about it a bit. Um, let's see if there's anything here. Yeah, so this is like another example of like a set that is being in the works. This is another set that is coming up. That's like the first set. I'm just gonna go over these real quick. So this is another set that's coming out. That's the shark set that you guys just saw right now. Um, so I might be moving a bit too fast through these, but what can you do? There's no time. Um, so some of the tech art that I'd like to talk about as well. We have Michael in the team. She is doing an incredible tech art
Mm-hmm.
job. So this is like the hex grid right now, like the movements on the game in the gameplay, in the arena itself. So you can see a lot of progress here. It has been evolved a ton since these videos. So I'm going to show you slowly how a lot of the thinking is happening here. about visuals. There's a lot of back and forth. Um, and yeah, there's like a lot of feedback happening. Let me just refresh this page. It looks like it's having some difficulties. There we go. So there's like all sorts of versions happening. Like this is the region that is uh, that the players can kind of walk around. Um, Here's another like specific iteration of, oops, there we go. So of how it affects when characters go through it and stuff like that. Um, this is like options on the grid itself, how to kind of select areas and move around. Um, all sorts of examples. We also have a mirror board with all sorts of things. So there's, as you can see, there's a lot of process in the works.
So
And if Mhm.
may I ask, I just to bring this up, so that Caveman can already move in the grid now.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Movement is already happening. We won't be showing it today, but movement is definitely happening. Some more things from the tech art side. So, for instance, how the grid is being they're like generated. So there's this video right here. This is the actual shader and how it works when it creates the visual. So this is something that Michael is doing in the tech art. What's like it's all procedurally done, and she's doing like these are the things that are happening uh, in that glow and in that fog effect that you guys see. I mean, this is not the latest here, so I can't really show that you can see like here at the top, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the transition, the gradient that you're seeing is based on what you just saw. Here are some of the auras that are being done and the shaders. So I'm gonna share that real quick. So if we're looking at like an asset, like a special asset, a legendary or something like that, there are all sorts of effects on it, like this magma effect that is like burning on the asset. This is still a work in progress, but you can see how it can be a really fun um, like visual effects that are being added to the assets based on their um, I guess rarities and stuff like that. Here's another example of the same effect on a different set.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so we have many more effects, but I'm not going to show them all. But basically, how these are built is that you get like there's this image. Um, so there's this image that this is like a
Uh,
height map that is being created,
yeah.
and and the effect and the shader is using this height map, and with a slider you can kind of define if you can see more of it or less of it. These are the actual materials. So this is like a procedural. This is the color, I believe, and I believe this is like some of the whatever visual that's happening, like the charring around it. And then you have like the combination of the two. And then there's this mask that defines where it happens and where it doesn't. And here's an example of what happens if you play with a slider. And as you can see, playing with the slider exposes more of the effect or less of the effect. So we can kind of define what it is that we want to have and how much on each and every asset, basically.
Yeah.
So thank you, Michael, for sharing these awesome videos. Of course, the scale of it, the movement of it. So those effects are happening kind of like on top.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm sorry.
some,
I'm
Mhm.
sorry to interrupt, but guys, I'm running. I saw some questions. That's what I just want to say. I'm running the giveaway right now on Discord on Caveman Chat. You guys, all you need to do is react to the message with the little party symbol, and you will pick the winner automatically in 15 minutes. That's all you guys have. 15 minutes to join. and the true winners are gonna be picked. I'm really sorry we're going through this. As you guys can see, there's a lot of art stuff for us to share, and we are short on time. But thank you, Garzan, for showing like all this. This is incredible stuff. It's really really awesome.
Yeah, my pleasure. I mean, we've been waiting to show stuff for a very long time now, and we couldn't because of all sorts of reasons. But so now everything's coming at the same time. So
Yeah.
all right, so this is like one of the effects that is also happening on objects as well. So this is like a search, well, as Pedro is doing the the raffle. I'm just gonna keep talking about the effects here. 'Cause
It's
this is like a
it's already
shimmer
done.
effect.
I just had to basically press go, and it's already live, so they can go through it. It's all good.
I'm just gonna
Nice,
say
nice.
I have a hard out in like 15 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So
no problem,
yeah,
no
if there's
problem.
anything I needed for,
Yeah,
we should
so
do
the
it
next
now.
subject is going to be all yours, Goog. So some more of the effects, all sorts of auras and stuff like that, and shimmering that are happening based on the type of the asset and based on what it is that it's having, because we're going to have I mean, I don't want, it's not set in stone, I believe, but we're going to have like gems and runes and all sorts of ways to upgrade like the different objects as well.
Yeah.
All right, so the next subject I think would be the trailer. Goog, maybe you can open the project and talk a bit about it.
You mean the teaser?
Yes, the teaser. Sorry,
Yeah.
not the trailer.
I'm not gonna take a long time for it because we're already running long. But I did want to show. Let's see. Where do we start? Yeah, I think so. Hopefully, you guys saw the teaser, and you guys see. Did you guys see my screen?
It's loading. Give 1 moment.
Okay. You know when you see when you can see it.
I'm not sure if everyone can see it, but it's for me it's not loading.
Okay. I'll try again. A second ago.
Yeah, it worked before, which is funny.
Yeah.
Can you, Garzan? Can you see it? For me, it's not loading.
No, I'm not seeing Goog's
It's funny.
stream. Are you streaming a window or a screen?
The screen. I'm doing exactly what we did in the test. We did just before. Now, I can hear it sort of not working, but I can't figure out why.
If you
So I
want to,
think
if you want to,
There's gonna be next time.
yeah, you can try to leave and join the call again. That might fix it.
Okay, I'll try that.
All right. In the meantime, quickly.
On the meantime,
this
I
is
have a
the
question
logo.
because
Mhm,
you were
yeah.
you're showing some armor stuff, and someone brought it up. Will there be any plans of custom dye armor or any complex, or is it too complex to work?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're definitely going to have an option to dye pieces of the armor. It's not going to be the entire armor. We're going to predefine what is going to get colored, but you are going to be able to win or buy dye and paint, and you can customize certain pieces of the armor and change it to the color of your choice. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I wasn't able to share. I don't know what happened between
I
the
think now it
beginning of the
worked. I
chat
just
to
saw
now.
your stream for a second.
Oh, it did really? Okay, I'll try it again. Working or not?
Working. Awesome.
Okay, great. Cool. So yeah, so what you're seeing now is basically the set that we used for the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty big.
Teaser.
That's teaser. What did I say?
The trailer. The
the
trailer
teaser,
is
yeah.
coming.
So you can see I can really put the camera anywhere I want. I can move things around.
Yeah.
I can make them bigger or smaller. And it's all already because it's in Unreal.
Hmm.
It's already sort of rendered, right? Just the way you see it. So you don't. It's a very different pipeline from the olden days where you had to do something in Maya and then bring it somewhere and then, and then texture it and then render it. So between creating and arranging the layout of a certain shot, like for example, you wanted this shot, right? And you had to work on something very different, and then you saw what it looked like only much later. Maybe a different artist would work about it, maybe would work on it, maybe even
Hmm.
several. And now you can just see it. This is it. What you see is what you get, even with the animation of the leaves and everything. And then I can go here, and this is where the cave is. I think this is a bit of an older version, by the way, than what we have in the teaser, not trailer. But this is where the guys were sort of, you could see them.
Coming down.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, coming down. I did want to show. I did want to show. Let me just try something here. I did want to show two. Um, when as we were working on it, just a little bit of the process. As we were working on it, we came up with different ideas. So exactly what we do in modeling, and exactly what we do with the thumbnails in the drawings, we also do in animation. So here, I'm just gonna share again. You can see like like one idea.
That was the very initial, like really initial.
Yeah.
I did not expect that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, just a lot of fun to be had with different ideas, and then sometimes you have two great ideas and you go with one of them and you always miss the other one, exactly like the thumbnails.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, uh, I
It's really
think
awesome. I guess people really didn't expect to see the that the trailer was made inside the engine. I think they just saw the trailer as a most most NFTs just make a quick video without having anything made inside the engine, without assets, without anything like this. And so you can see the reaction on the chat when something like that shows to them that um, we're a real game. We're not playing.
yeah,
Um,
we're not playing.
yeah, a lot of people haven't seen anything like this and how it works inside the engine, but now I guess they do. And with time, we're gonna keep showing more and more of these things. Um,
Actually, just continuing the same conversation about showing things,
mhm.
and by the way, Goog, if you need to head out, feel free at any point. No pressure to say or anything
Yeah.
like that. But
Sure, thanks.
I do want to show some more alpha, I guess.
Ooh.
So share my screen, Pedro. Um, so, I mean, we had a lot of questions about the environment. So I know that everyone wants to see where the environment is at. And it's important to mention that everything that we do is like we are working in different departments, and soon enough, everything will kind of come together and work at the same time. So that's going to be extremely exciting. Now, the environment had an initial iteration, and then we decided to upgrade it. So I'm going to show you the initial iteration right now. It's really important to understand that this is not how the environment looks like today. And the environment like that we do have today is only gray blocked, but it's pretty advanced. So I'm going to show, this is the initial environment that we had. So like you can see, it's lit. There are a lot of things that are blocked out that are not ready. Like this is the previous version, and we played with the fidelity and the textures, and we played like with the shapes, and there's a skylight
It's
here.
I don't know
Um,
if this it's very pixelated, guys. It's a bit because probably the stream. But
oh,
it's
I see.
Discord, but it doesn't look like this much pixelated.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
wow.
pixelated, but you can see what it is.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah,
too
yeah.
bad. Of course, in like on our screen, it's not as pixelated as this.
Yeah. I'm not sure why it's the quality of the video is so low. So apologies for that. So you can see like this was like the initial version. And there's some foliage, and we kind of planned out where the cavemen are standing. Now, this was a conversation with me and Goog, and we actually I can't show the video. Let me check that real quick. I'm not sure that I have it though, Goog. The
What is it?
conversation that we had about the environments.
Oh,
Um,
I don't think you have the conversation. I think you have what I sent. So just to kind of let you know, I think this is what you mean. But just guys to let you know what we're talking about. So when we started talking about the environment, and we started going with ideas back and forth, I actually went into VR, and I built very quickly in a program called Quill. I built a very quick version of it. And the good thing about VR, and then we did a me and Garzan did a Zoom call, right? In which I was able to go into the VR, and as like in the conversation, he was able to see what I was doing, and I was moving things. It was like, oh, let's put this here, let's put that there, and I was kind of moving things even as we were talking.
So I'm
We
actually
don't have a.
showing. I'm actually showing right now the work that you did that we had that conversed about while you did that in VR.
Um, Before we show, can we maybe try to restart your screen share, because I think for being such long time, it's out live. It's bugging out a little
Oh
bit.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh
actually, it
yeah.
just
Should
got better. It
No,
got
no,
much better.
it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Uh,
okay.
so yeah, as you can see here, this is, as much as it doesn't look, like anything. This is all like when you move it around, like you see, it kind of makes sense in terms of the structure, and this can be done very, very quickly. When for playing with ideas. But then this is what I think this is what I sent you after we had the call. But in the call, we were really sort of moving things around.
Right. Yeah. And just in a nutshell, basically, this means that both me and Goog are in a conversation, and Goog is in VR. And as we talk, Goog is like painting things around really quickly, sketching things around to kind of understand the space
So
and
he's in
how
his
kind of
room in VR doing stuff inside there.
yes,
Exactly.
Oh, that is
Can you
exactly.
go?
so cool.
Can you go to the red skeleton?
I can't. It's a video.
Oh no, yeah, right here. Just pause it here.
Yep. Let's see if I can kind of capture it. There you
Yeah.
go.
There. Yeah.
Uh,
I don't know if
uh,
it's very clear, but when it moves around, it gets clearer. The red stuff that you see on the right here, that's a very, 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 very rough sketch of what is going to be sort of like a bar area made with, from a skeleton of a dragon or something like that, or a dinosaur. So I don't know if we're gonna see the result of that today, but actually, like that ended up happening, and there's a really nice model of that, and it's really fun to see where it really started. Oh yeah, there
you
it
can
is.
see that's the initial version of that in the environment. Um, but so as I was saying that like this is like the initial version of the environment. Like we tried textures, we tried shapes, we tried all sorts of things.
Some
Now the next
light. Yeah.
version that I'm
You can see the
the
fire.
next version I'm going to show is still a work in progress. It's still a block out. It doesn't have textures, but we decided to go and make it a lot bigger and have a lot more character to it. So if I'm clicking
Drum
here
roll.
now,
There we go.
now you can kind of see Now you can kind of see the block out of the new environment. So you can see the dinosaur here. It's still a bar, but if I go closer, don't mind the shaders. It's all grade blocked,
It's
of course, but
still Garzan, it's still very pixelated. Maybe if you move less, I think it gets better over time.
Mm-hmm.
mm, I'll
So now it's
try. There's
clear.
just so much to show. Um, yeah,
It's okay.
this
It's
okay.
like it's good enough, I guess. They will
Okay.
also see at some point, when
Yeah,
they
we're
play.
gonna have a massive reveal, like a proper reveal of
Yeah.
this. So
This
you
is
can see there's
special,
a
guys, for you guys watching live, by the way.
yeah, only for you guys watching live. So you can see there's a lot of little assets. This is still very much work in progress. There's gonna be a whole lot of assets. You can see the scale of this place is so much vast and so much bigger
It's
than
huge.
what we had,
Yeah.
right? So this is the skylight here. It's all blocked out. There's like places for cavemen to sit and cheer, different types of chairs. This is going to be the arena. It's a bit burnt out because of the sun right now, but this is going to be the arena. You're going to have a spot for the king and queen here that they're going to kind of be sitting and cheering, but they're also kind of goofy and part of the people. You have all sorts of areas, uh, like almost like balconies or however you call that, where you can when they can kind of watch as well. You're gonna have cavemen kind of sitting down and cooking at the same time, food, and here, I mean, there's signs showing like different directions. There's an exit to the rest of the cave because later on, obviously, this game is going to be expanded and going to be a bit more open social hub where you guys can kind of chat with each other and stuff like that. Um, there's also this area here, which is the armory, where you will be able to purchase
And craft.
um, and craft your weapons and armor sets and stuff like that. So a lot is happening. So this is like as you can see it now, this is just the arena work in progress. But of course, the gameplay mechanics and the everything that you've saw before, that's working separately, and everything is gonna come together uh, quite soon visually as well. So we're very, very excited about this place, which is coming along really nicely. And yeah, hopefully, I mean, you guys will of course get to see the big reveal of it being fully textured and stuff like that. Um, yeah, so I think we kind of covered everything. Did I miss anything? Siphon, Goog?
I think you're good.
Yeah, I think that was a lot. I mean, I wasn't even expecting that much.
Yeah. Well,
It's
yeah.
amazing.
Good things come to those who wait, right?
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
Um,
for them seeing this I'm sure the community is having a bit of a freak out right now. But it's really exciting to see things coming together, and for you guys to understand this gray rocks and each thing that's being done there. It takes time and love and and everyone is
yeah,
working a lot.
exactly. And we
Yeah.
also want it to be perfect, right?
Mhm.
So we had an initial environment and we said, you know what, we can probably pull off something more elaborate, which is why we kind of decided, all right, let's do it better,
Yep.
pretty much.
Yeah. We don't want to be just another alpha or beta that people just play for what maybe a couple of hours when they launch on Twitter something and never touch it again, hoping that the NFT pumps. We want to make something really really fun, really immersing, and we will do everything that we have in our power to achieve that. And then on top of that, people are gonna be able to earn, and so it's the part of the NFT.
For sure,
Um,
for sure. Maybe Pedro stop the share and
yep. Okay.
we can take questions.
So
If there's anything about the sort of the 2D art or anything that I was saying, I can still hang around for like a few minutes, then I have to leave.
I'm gonna go over the questions in the forum first, and I don't see any specific question about the 2D art and
Okay.
sketches.
So the form was made before actually the meeting, right?
Yeah, the form was made a few Friday. I gave to everyone to ask the questions, so I'm gonna give priority to those. And I also have been picking up the questions from the chat and writing them down, so we're gonna answer those as well. If you guys have questions now after watching all of this, you guys can always ask some stuff. I see there's a lot of one thing. I see there's a lot of mechanic and development questions. I will try to answer them, but um, there'll also be hopefully a dev stream with the dev team and Danny, and they can answer these questions better. We also have a lot of progress on game design with Dirk and the Mage. We'll do one of these as well again with them, with visual, with testing, with things like this for you guys to see, and you guys can ask those design and dev questions to them also. So if we don't answer those today, we will definitely get back to you, and we will answer them when the time comes to do a stream with them. So there is now one 2D question just came out, which is
Yeah. Hey, Pedro, can you maybe bring up back like the initial image of instead of the current share?
I'm not sharing screens. Oh, what do you mean?
Oh, someone's screen is being shared. Okay, never mind.
You guys, it's my screen that's being shared. If I can put the starting soon screen.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
Oh, what was the question?
The question for 2D is the 2D art for the website? Is there a comic in plan for the future? Asked by Yes Ben L.
Tarzan, you want to take that?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, we definitely want to make comics and storyboards and stuff like that. That's definitely coming later on. In regards to the website, it's actually in very, very advanced stages. And yes, a lot of the art that we're making, and that's why we also have like some negative space at the top, is so we can add things that are related to the website, the logo, or anything else. So the website is in very advanced stages, and hopefully we'll be able to share with you soon. The website is looking great.
Yep. So
from my end,
go ahead.
I'm just gonna say that I'm really looking forward to the moment we can start doing little comic strips and stuff like that. That's really on my personal horizon, but you know, we'll see what makes sense.
That's exciting to hear. Okay, I'm gonna get back to the form. If you guys have 2D questions, please bring them up. I'll skip the line so Gog can answer them before he got to go. But the first question we had is, can I have a caveman? I have 9. I want to get to 10, so I get the Discord role. You can try to get them from the giveaways, but that's pretty much it. So now we have quite a few questions from Meister D, which is, who gives the idea for certain items? It comes from Game Mechanics Dev's team, or our team gives suggestions for the Game Mechanics team?
That's a great question. Actually, I think well, first of all, the game mechanics team is defining a lot of what is required for the game. So they kind of tell us what is needed, and then we figured out the art for it. But we also, I mean, our team is very very similar to Flat Hierarchy for the most part. And everyone gets a say, and we're all always having conversations about different things. There have been multiple instances where we just had a conversation and we just decided based on the art, based on our experiences, or based on the needs of what for to create like different assets. So it can come from any direction, but for the most part, it comes from the game mechanics team. Yeah.
Okay. Is it true that Pedro is annoying and asking every day you guys to show us the arena and you don't let him?
100%.
Yeah, I'm really annoying. Especially to Garza and Danny. I think Danny is my biggest victim, but yeah, I am annoying, guys. Um,
Hey,
okay.
Which is good.
guys,
Which is good.
I'm gonna have to head out, but thank you everybody. I hope that was interesting. I certainly saw a few things that I haven't seen before, so amazing. Thank you, Garzan and Pedro and everybody else and Siphon.
Yeah. Thank you, Gug. Thank you for
Thanks.
coming.
Thanks, good.
Hey guys.
Bye bye. How many versions of certain items usually needs to be created before it's proven by the team, and what was the hardest thing to create so far?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
How many versions of certain items, let's say potions, weapons, armors, need to be created before it's approved by the team? And what is the hardest thing that was to create so far?
I'm not sure what it means, how many items are created before they're approved. Maybe how many versions,
Yes,
like art versions?
I think that's what he means. Like how many sketches and versions?
Yeah, it really depends on the assets. We like to move pretty fast. We're not, every time we make something, every time we make a stage and a step, we already move on to the next step. So the fixes are gonna happen, and then the next step is gonna happen. So we're not necessarily creating a ton of versions for every single asset. That's not the way it works. We're also kind of lenient with things. We have a lot of humor, and we just want to have fun. So it's not like we are, if we need to create an item, we create like 10 versions of the item and one is picked at the end. So, we have an initial pass and then we say, okay, these things maybe need to be a bit different. These things maybe need to be removed. These things need to be added. And then we already move on to the next stage. So,
Yep.
not a lot.
And which one was the hardest thing to create so far?
The hardest thing, well, I would say the environment for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so much that needs to be created with it, and we had a lot of. If we're talking about versions, that one is, we're having multiple versions for everything. So that's that's the biggest challenge. But it's also like so extremely important because we get one environment for now, right? With props, we have more and more props, so
Mm-hmm.
and they take a lot less time to create. So it's not a big deal if it's not a big deal if something is not perfect because we can always come back to it, change it, or replace it or whatever. But the environment is the biggest challenge for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I would, as I see how it goes, yeah, I think so as well. What hardware are you using for drawings? What would be a good starter kit for a person who likes to draw but has never tried to do it digitally?
Oh, just drawing. Well, you probably don't need a very strong computer if you just want to draw. It's a bit different if you want to sculpt in CG. It's a bit more demanding. You need a stronger computer. And if you need to render, it's even stronger. But I mean, I think that every digital artist, doesn't matter which one, but let's say just for drawing, needs a tablet. That's a super important thing. There's all sorts of tablets now in the market. I mean, I used to always go for the Intuos or the Cintiqs by Wacom because they were kind of like the stamp and the main brand to go to. But I have to admit that I'm a big fan of Huion right now. It's a Chinese brand. I like it because I feel I'm using like a screen tablet. So I like it because you can draw on the screen, and it's actually really well priced, and it's very light. I enjoy it a lot. So I think you need a drawing tablet. It can either be a regular tablet where you watch the monitor but you draw on the tablet, or it can be a screen tablet where you draw on the screen essentially.
Okay.
Um, yeah. Oh, it looks like Saifan lost us for some reason. I just got a message from her.
I can still hear you, and I think you can still hear me, right? And I can still see Siphon in the chat, in the voice chat.
Get back. I lost you for a second.
Okay.
Few
You guys,
seconds.
if you guys having like connection problems, you guys
Sorry,
can
you're a bit cut out, Saifan. I think it's maybe internet something.
if you guys want to
Um,
close your streams, it might help a little bit with the connection.
Hmm.
But let's move on to the next one.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to say, if just for drawing, you don't need an
Okay.
incredibly expensive computer, and even a laptop can work. Something that runs whatever drawing app you want. But I also hear a lot of people that just want to draw
Mm-hmm.
using like the iPad Pro for drawing. I hear it's an incredible tool for people that just want to draw and kind of practice that.
Okay. Yeah. That's a whole world that I do not understand. I'm not a very good drawer or artist. So next question. How are things going on the mobile app? Will there be a game on Android? Yes, there will be a game on Android, and it's actually going to be mobile first. I think this is a question more for the devs to answer, but I'm pretty sure that will come out on Apple first and then Android after. It depends how like we get approved on the stores. But
Just a quick, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
So just a little thing to add on the art side, we are working towards a mobile version that will obviously also work on PC.
Mm-hmm.
We want the PC version to look better naturally, but we are making it work. Everything that we do is taking mobile into consideration because we do want you guys to have fun with the game wherever you are.
Yep. When to expect a beta, closed beta? Will it be on first quarter? We can't really tell yet. We are aiming still for the first quarter, and we have deadlines, like how Danielle has explained, and but you guys will have a solid date at some point, and we
Yeah,
yeah, it's just not
cool.
something that we can say it right now. Like yes, this is the date.
Let's stick to let's filter out questions that don't have to do with art, just
Yeah.
so we can cover more art related questions.
Mm, okay. There's a question about will also be a web interface or be pure mobile app. Not web, but like how Garzin explained, there'll be a desktop game as well. Um, so those are the questions from the forums. Guys, for the next streams, if you guys could ask more things there, they will always be priority on the streams, and then we'll move on to the chat. So earlier was asked, what is the advantage of building everything from scratch? Why team not choose existing models or framework?
Well, whenever you use existing things, you're limited to those existing things. I mean, framework, I mean, I'm not a developer myself, so I can't answer for the framework. I'm sure certain tools are being used out of the market and are being modified, but for the most part, we want maximum flexibility and we want things to be also efficient and to work well. I mean, we have amazing developers and they can build things in a fashion that will work really well. For instance, on mobile, which has a lot of restrictions. If things are being developed and all you do is use market stuff or third party stuff, then you are a bit constrained and maybe you don't have as much flexibility as you want. Now, in terms of assets, I mean, we did notice a lot of projects are using like pre-made assets from marketplaces and stuff like that. But I mean, we want our own stuff. We want the assets to be unique. We don't want to see our assets exist in multiple games, right? And plus we are artists. We are video game artists. There's no need for us to get a bunch of stuff that already exists and anyone can purchase. I just don't see the point in that. We have an amazing opportunity here to create something unique and of our own.
Yeah,
And we
definitely.
definitely want to take it.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Next one is, what about Caveman March? Will that be something that would definitely be something I would buy? What do you think, Garzin?
Merch?
Yeah.
Isn't that more your realm, Pedro?
Yeah. It's definitely coming, guys. We just want to get the website out of the way, and then we're gonna introduce merch with it as well. We are trying to work with some other third parties that they also have their schedules with other projects. So there's time for these things, but we definitely coming out with merch at some point. Um, so one last, I think this is the last one with art. Is can we see some animation of cavemen with weapons? I think.
I mean, we did have animation tests before, but
Mhm.
really we are working with an amazing animation team that worked on a ton of incredible like triple A title animations and trailers and stuff like that. So right now we are refining everything at the same time. So we have the rig going on, and we want the best animations as well. So we're going to have the team work on unique animations that are very goofy and funny and very appealing with the weapons as well. Um, so yeah, we also made a newer version of the caveman to work with the game. There will be a lot more flexibility for animation because obviously, I mean, you guys have seen some of the tests. The caveman's face was completely frozen and he looked like a psycho a bit more than what we wanted. So so we have a lot more flexibility now, and once we're going to start pumping out animations, you guys are going to see we're going to post like all sorts of individual animations to our Discord and our Twitter and stuff like that. So, but we don't have something to show at this point at this time. No.
Okay. Um, that was pretty much it. Oh, there's one more on chat from Vernon. Play to earn. Here. Can we get some UI stuff? Can they see some UI stuff? Some UI art?
I mean, we have it, but we're not showing it yet. So not yet.
Not yet, guys.
UI is not a very high priority right now. We do have skeleton UI that already works in game, and that gives us everything we need to understand gameplay.
Hmm.
And UI is being designed, and we definitely have the visuals, but we're still working on them. It's not a step that we're at in terms of showcasing just yet.
Awesome. Um, has the art team worked with mobile games before, and does the mobile present any unique challenges they haven't encountered before?
Yeah, I mean, yes. I personally worked on some mobile games in the past. Actually, a game for Disney at the time. Um, Really, to be honest, I mean, there's no for the art team specifically. We don't have like any specific challenges. It's really how it works is that we really collaborate with the game developers and the tech art team. So whatever they tell us, like the art team that they need, that's kind of what we provide. They do ask us what are the most important things for us in terms of art. So they will try and find solutions to those limitations. But but besides that, we have all sorts of things. Like when we create a map, um, like a texture map of some sort. We have all sorts of ways to make it more efficient to work with a mobile game. So, for instance, we are combining several of the channels into a single texture map. Um, so we can kind of define, for instance, I know I'm speaking a lot of lingo here, but like we can combine like the roughness and the metalness and an effects map into a single red, green, blue texture map with these channels, and even the alpha can be used as a channel for something. So we have the albedo, which is the color map, in a separate file, but then we have several of the channels that are supposed to define like the specularity or what is metal and what is not, or what has special effects into a single map. So the engine doesn't require too many draw calls and doesn't require too much memory. Yeah, we have a lot of ways to cheat things, but really, the trick is having a terrific tech artist and developers that can kind of tell us, hey, we kind of get what you want to do, but here are the limitations. So please provide us the things within those limitations. And yeah, and the challenge is more there than on us, the pure art team.
Yeah, awesome. I think there's one last one. And what is your favorite asset, not including special outfits? They mean from the NFT, from the Caveman NFT.
Oh, which NFT is my favorite NFT?
Yeah, which like asset is your favorite?
Which asset? I have to say, well, I like a lot, but I have to say that I'm loving, and I always loved the ice crown myself.
Yeah.
I thought it was a cool material. Just so you guys know, the ice crown was the longest thing to render because of all the subsurface scattering and the refraction that the material had. But I thought that was the most complex material, and I love complex materials. But you know, in many cases, you don't need them, or it doesn't make sense to have them. I'd also like to say that maybe the second after that is the VR headset, just because I just love the way it
Yeah.
looks and it sits so nicely on top of the head. So Siphon did a great job on both of them. Thank
Yeah.
you, Siphon.
Okay.
Hard to pick one, though. It was so much fun to work on them.
Which one is your favorite, Siphon?
I don't know. Like every one of them, I'm like making it and laughing to myself because they're so funny and fun to work at.
Yeah.
Fun. Um, I don't know. I like a lot of the hats. The hats were my favorite things. Also the most challenging because the ears, oh my God, the sticking out ears.
Yeah.
It's so hard to
Mm.
match things around them.
Yeah,
So
I can imagine, especially like cowboy hat, and that's
yeah.
yeah, that's really
Mm.
cool. There's some people asking if there is a giveaway. The giveaway happened close to half of the stream, and it was done on Discord, as I explained at the beginning of the stream. So if you were listening to it, you had a chance. We already had the winners. I can actually announce them here, and I'm
Yeah,
also
go for it. There's like two more minutes for a full 2 hours, so I think this would be a good time.
awesome. I'm also gonna do this announcement on Discord about the winners. So I'll contact you. I'm back. The winners was Danayanza. Uh, Sorry if I butchered that. Sayas and Tunix. Congratulations, guys. I'll please, if you guys could DM me, because I don't DM anyone. But if you guys could DM me, I will definitely get your wallets and send you your caveman. Um, but yeah, I think this is it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys had fun. I definitely had loads of fun. You too, Garzin and Siphon. I hope you guys had fun. I hope we can do more of these in the future.
Yeah, it was great. Thank you everybody for joining us. Sorry again that we had to postpone it to Monday, to
Yep.
today. It was awesome seeing everybody, awesome seeing familiar names. And hopefully we'll have more of these, and I'm sure we'll have a lot more to show pretty soon.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So yeah, I as well apologize, guys, for delaying last Saturday, but this was a very visual AMA, as you guys can see, and I hope it was worth the wait. Next time, it's not gonna happen. We are gonna be on point with the date that we announced, and we're gonna do it again probably on YouTube or Twitch. We didn't decide which one is gonna be yet. For now, we are using YouTube because it's a platform we already registered, and it's easier to schedule events than Twitch. But we might use Twitch also and do the stream on both platforms. But yeah, this is it. Thank you everyone for coming, and I hope you guys had a good time. This video is gonna be uploaded later. We might do some edits, and so everyone can hear it, but it will definitely be up on our YouTube channel. Yeah, so that's it. Everyone,
Thank
have
you,
a good night.
Pedro, for hosting.
Oh, it's a
Guys.
pleasure.
Bye, guys. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Bye bye.